You know that feeling when you say, okay, last one, and then it is suddenly way too late? Yeah, these are those games. Every pick on this list has that dangerous mix of quick sessions, constant progress, and just one more energy. If you have work or school in the morning, consider this your friendly warning from a guy who has absolutely lost sleep to every single one of these. Every time I boot up Hades, I tell myself I am doing one quick escape attempt. Then I look up and it is way past midnight. The combat is fast and clean, and the builds are pure trouble. You grab a new weapon aspect, pick a couple boons, and suddenly you're cooking up a combo that feels like it was made just for you. Even when you fail, you still unlock story bits, new dialogue, and upgrades back at the house. That makes losing feel like progress, which is dangerous for sleep. The bosses stay tense, the soundtrack keeps me locked in, and the voice acting makes every run feel personal. I always want just one more try to see a different boon roll. On Switch handheld, it is the ultimate couch game, and I cannot put it down. Stardew Valley is my definition of a harmless game that somehow steals an entire night. You start by watering a few crops, then you remember you need ore for sprinklers, so you head into the mines, and that turns into a full dungeon crawl. The daily clock pushes you to plan, but it also creates that classic loop of just one more day. There is always a festival coming up, a friendship level to raise, or a building to finish on the farm. I love how it lets me switch moods. Chill fishing by the river, intense skull cavern runs, or decorating my house like a cozy cabin. The music is relaxing, but the goals keep stacking, and I end up saying, I will sleep after I harvest this next crop. Even the loading screen makes me want to continue. Slay the Spire is dangerous because it turns your brain into a deck-building machine. I sit down for one run, and before I know it, I am calculating every card draw like it is a chess match. The best part is how different each climb feels. One night, I am stacking poison with the Silent. The next, I am building a ridiculous strength deck with the Ironclad. Every choice matters. Which card to add, which relic to grab, when to rest, when to upgrade. That constant decision-making keeps me awake because I always feel like the next fight is winnable if I play smarter. And the game is quick to restart, so losing does not stop you. It dares you to try again with a new plan. On Switch, it is the perfect bedtime trap. Trust me too. Vampire Survivors looks simple, but it is basically a laser-focused addiction loop. You move, you dodge, and your character auto-attacks, so the real game is choosing upgrades and watching the chaos grow. The first few minutes feel calm, then you pick up a new weapon evolution, and the whole screen turns into fireworks. It scratches that I just want to see how far I can go, feeling better than almost anything on Switch. Runs are short enough to say, one more, but long enough to feel rewarding when you survive a tough wave. I also love the meta progression because every little unlock changes future runs and makes you curious again. It is the kind of game where you blink and an hour disappears and you are still chasing that perfect build. Soundtrack keeps pumping while you grind. Dead Cells is my go-to, I am supposed to sleep game. The movement feels so smooth that I cannot stop dashing, rolling, and slicing through rooms. Because it is a roguelite, every run gives me a new set of weapons, and I end up testing weird combos just to see if they work. One minute I am freezing enemies with an ice bow, the next I am melting bosses with a fire build. The game rewards speed, but it also punishes sloppy play, so I am fully locked in. And when you die, you are instantly thinking about what you could do better next time. That little spark of, I can beat that biome, is what keeps me awake. Add the satisfying upgrades between runs, and you have a perfect recipe for late nights. Plus, pixel art looks amazing. Splatoon 3 is the kind of multiplayer game that convinces me I can play just one more match, forever. The matches are short, so it always feels like you have time for another, even when you really do not. Turf War is pure chaos in the best way, and when your team clicks, it is super satisfying to watch the map turn your color. Then there is Salmon Run, which is basically co-op panic mode, and I love it. You start strong, then the difficulty ramps up, and suddenly everyone is shouting at the screen. The controls feel great on Switch, especially in handheld with motion aiming. I also get hooked by the gear grind, because I always want to tweak my build and try a new weapon. Win or lose, I queue up again. Splatfests ruin my sleep. Monster Hunter Rise is a time machine. I hop in to craft one armor piece and suddenly I have hunted the same monster 5 times because I am one material short. The wire bug movement makes every hunt feel fast and stylish, like you are flying around the arena. The combat has that classic Monster Hunter rhythm. Learn the tells, commit to your swings, and celebrate every clean dodge. What really keeps me up is the loop. Hunt, carve, upgrade, then test the new build on something bigger. Even the village prep is addictive. Eating dango, picking a buddy loadout, and checking quests. Playing in short handheld sessions is possible, but I rarely stop there because the next hunt is always calling. And when you finally land that perfect combo and topple a monster, it feels amazing. Hunts steal my bedtime. Factorio on Switch is the ultimate I will just optimize one thing trap. You land on a planet, build a tiny mining setup, and then your brain starts seeing conveyor belts in your dreams. The game is all about turning messy problems into clean systems. Smelting lines, science packs, defense walls, it never ends. The best moments are when you finally fix a bottleneck and the whole factory starts humming. But that is also why you stay up, because there is always a new bottleneck. I love planning layouts in handheld mode, zooming in and nudging belts until everything lines up. Then the bugs attack, and now you are redesigning your ammo supply chain at 1 in the morning. It sounds nerdy, but it is insanely satisfying, and time disappears fast. When it clicks, I feel like a genius briefly. Breath of the Wild is the classic Switch game that still makes me lose track of time. I set out to do one shrine, then I spot a tower, then a weird rock puzzle, then a dragon flying overhead, and my original plan is gone. The world is built for curiosity, and it always rewards you for wandering. Combat can turn into these little physics experiments, like rolling boulders, setting grass on fire, or launching yourself with bombs. Even simple travel feels fun because climbing and gliding are so freeing. The real danger is that the game never yells at you to stop. You can always cook a better meal, hunt for a stronger weapon, or chase one more Korok seed. If I play this at night, I end up watching sunrise in Hyrule. Not great for my sleep either. Animal Crossing. New Horizons is sneaky addictive because it feels relaxing, but it is basically a checklist that never ends. I log on to pick some weeds, then I notice Nook's Cranny has a new item. Then I decide my plaza needs a whole redesign. Before I know it, I am terraforming cliffs and moving houses like I am running a tiny city. The daily routine is comforting, and the game is great for winding down, but it can also keep you up when inspiration hits. I will start arranging furniture, then I am browsing patterns, then I am visiting another island for materials, and those little goals stack fast. Fill the museum, finish a set, pay off a loan, or catch that one fish you are missing. It is calm, cozy, and somehow it still steals my bedtime tonight. Alright, those are my top 10 sleep destroyers on Nintendo Switch. If you have one that always keeps you up, drop it in the comments. I am always looking for the next game to ruin my bedtime. And if you want more lists like this, you know what to do.